Hey RATBAGGERS, it's Jade today with a Aghasba video guide going over the biggest questions I've seen in comments over the last few days. How does multiplayer work? How do you activate it? How do you set up or operate the fast travel points? And how do you get yourself a mount? I'm doing all three of these together because they all pretty much have the same answer you get through the tutorial and head to the mainland. That's pretty much it. If you want just a short and sweet answer, complete the objectives so that you build the bridge that takes you over to the mainland, and you will then be able to unlock fast travel, like I said, getting a mount, as well as then playing multiplayer. So that is a few hours in. I do recognise some players are unhappy they can't play with their friends and family straight away. There's also chatter about what type of multiplayer game this is, with some people really unhappy about the kind of co-op progression. But I think it's okay. You literally come and join your friends' worlds. You can gather resources, take them back to your world. You can trade with other players. You can help them build. You can help them fight. You can help them grow. And they can do the same with you. Yes, it might be nice to carry some progression over, like maybe some unlocks, but pretty much all the unlocks in the game do revolve around your progress and how you build up your towers. It's a core component of the game. It really is the main focus in building up your village, building up the trees, and this unlocks new items. So I can see how it's difficult to really implement full cross-play like progression if you're joining your friend's world and joining another. Maybe you've gone to your friend's world, they're much more advanced. That means you've gone and just skipped a bunch of stuff, but you don't have the tree, you don't have the tower, which means you won't have resources to maybe go and craft some of the stuff that you're unlocking. This isn't a storied RPG where maybe you would expect some progress to carry over, but even then, think of State of Decay. I'm pretty sure there was no kind of cross-progression with their games for years. And even only now, games like Valheim and Enshrouded have improved upon stuff that unlocks and does not unlock. So in Valheim's case, certain things won't activate for new players if they join a server, where previously, if you had gone and defeated a lot of bosses and your friend joined your world, they would get a ton of attacks, maybe the horde sort of defense mini attacks that happen sometimes, from much more advanced creatures even though they hadn't killed them. In Enshrouded's case, originally if a player went and completed the quests, it wouldn't activate for the rest of the players. Now that's fixed, but that makes much more sense because the game relies on you clearing out dungeons. It doesn't rely on you making your own tower or your own settlement. There's a whole world filled with resources when you go back to your world, which you can go and gather and harvest, etc. But in towers, again, the point is to grow your settlements, not just simply go and get a bunch of unlocks. Maybe slightly off topic there, but I do want to reinforce that because I do see so many people confused, and maybe it'll help out some players that are thinking about picking up the game. So first of all, the bridge. You do need to complete the missions for a JIT, basically placing down a farm, placing down maybe, I do believe, like a compost plot. Just basically speak to all the NPCs around your first tower, complete their objectives, and then you can go ahead and it will give you the marker to come to Jaturu Bridge. The resources needed are pretty basic, with rope, thatch and wood being easy enough to find. The meat skewers though might be a bit more difficult. If you hadn't realised, you probably unlocked the campfire, but you don't get it from the very start. I think the NPC that appears at Patihun only appears once you've gone and harvested some lettuce, which you obviously grow on your farm, and then you saw the campfire pop up then. You then look through your campfire, you'll see the recipes for all the different meats. They do rely a lot on salt, but you can see the skewers you need are going to be with mushroom caps. Now this is where some people might be getting blocked or not realising, but resources will spring up that you've never seen before once you start upgrading your tree. I mean, it seems pretty obvious, you see the trees and other topography growing, but there are these small little nodes, they definitely need to be highlighted better in the future, that will pop up, and one of them is mushrooms. So you need to keep going over to the sprite and basically doing what he needs to upgrade the tree and make it grow taller, and then more foods will grow around here. Special foods like the mushrooms and stuff might not grow everywhere, but they definitely should start appearing around this area, including other things as well like cotton and more. So to progress faster, make sure you've got plenty of the amity, which is needed a lot, as well as obviously giving tons of the seeds and planting them as soon as you get any of the special temperate ones. Try and help any creatures you see injured, try not to kill any of the wildlife, and don't chop or pick any resources that you don't necessarily need right now. And obviously if you pick up some mushroom spores that you might be able to convert from normal seeds or strange seeds in one of the seed pod things, that will give you definitely some mushrooms. If you plant it in the same zone as your colossi tree, it should give you a variety of different mushrooms, but some should be the cap ones. The other thing that mostly the tree needs is dung, so do go ahead and just chuck any berries that you found all around your tree area. You don't have to wait to individually see the creatures eat them. You can just come back and you'll find things like done just laying on the floor. Just keep spamming, collecting anytime you go near your colossi tree. And obviously once you get the special site, which you get from one of the quest givers, you'll be able to check on what foods each of the creatures eat. Some of them might need roots, so just throw a bunch of roots down. Some might need milk that you can only get from some of the hooplas, or the hairlopes, I keep calling them hooplas. And you want to grow your tree to maybe around this point, with the rarer fruit only being able to be gotten from the mainland. You might have come across mushrooms before then, so you don't have to worry too much. Once you've got the mushrooms, you can go ahead and make the skewers needed for the bridge. So you only need 2 of the skewers, and like I said, the rest of the stuff is pretty easy to get, and your bridge will be complete. You've now got access to the rest of the main game. There'll be some cutscenes, and then you obviously have a new Midhaven location to go ahead and restore over time, and this is where you're now going to find the multiplayer travel points, activating the teleportals, as well as getting your mount. So the multiplayer aspect, you head over to this statue here and you can go ahead and share a code with a friend. You can also change the rules about who can do what. Basically you can stop players from placing anything down, from messing around with any of your converting stations like the farms. And you can obviously visit other islands. Just click on one of these and it'll pop up a dialog box. Pop in the code that will show up either for your world, or go ahead and put down the one that your friend sent you. I'm not too sure if it shows other friends' worlds on PlayStation, but I don't think it does on Steam, or it didn't for me. And yeah, if you accidentally leak your code to a bunch of people you don't want, you can go ahead and change a bunch of stuff in the menus under the multiplayer settings. The most obvious thing it's probably going to need is to regenerate a code. Again, I'm not too sure if it's already got it in it or been updated since, as I've had a power cut and not actually been able to play for a couple of days, but I wanted to get this video done. But hopefully you now get the idea. To get your mount, obviously there'll be a mount or stable nearby from this area, so go over to it and check what resources it needs. Pretty simple, just some wood and thatch. And there you go, your stable's there, and you will be able to go and get yourself a hairlope. If you pre-order the game, especially on PlayStation, and I do believe you've still got to the pretty much 19th of December to buy the game, you'll get a special pre-order skin or a different version of the hair loop. And likewise on PC, if you buy the game within the month of release, you'll get the same version that I got. So this is the basic one that you get given, and this is the slightly different version you get with the pre-order bonus. Now I was mentioning that amity earlier. It is important because you need a ton of it to also activate the fast travel points. Some of them will only be maybe 30 amity, some of the others that you'll come across the map might be up to 70 or 75. You don't even get given a free one at the very start of your village. So if you didn't activate it before you came over this side, and I don't think you can anyway until you've actually crossed the bridge, you will then have to use your hairlope to go all the way back over the bridge, back to the little island, to then go ahead and activate one. And obviously the portals won't pop up until you get close enough to them, but then you can go ahead and fast travel between all of these locations. So there we go folks, that is pretty much the 3 biggest questions I've seen, hopefully giving you definitive answers and help. If you need more guides, I've got loads incoming about where resources are, how to grow certain things, and check me out my live streams or my Let's Plays. I'm going big on Towers of Aghasba, I'm really enjoying the game, and hopefully you guys are too. I'll see you RATBAGGERS some more soon, bye bye.